Ready to attach. Here we are. Hey everyone, this is Trey coming at you on a Wednesday with the Laugh and Learn Lunch, and I am excited for another beautiful day to share time and space with you. I am an internationally known medicine woman. I am the CEO and founder of Return to Self. For over a decade, I have been helping people to heal, to self-actualize so they can thrive in their life. And I am excited today to have Maisha here because she is going to help me in my new place in space, because I was just sharing with this beautiful goddess that I'm recently divorced after a 36-year marriage. It was my second marriage where I realized that neither one of the men were really serving me up what I needed. So I'm super excited to be, and sadly, this age to be learning this information, but I am excited to get this conversation. So I am going to let the beautiful Maisha further on continue to introduce herself to you guys, because this woman has been doing so many amazing things. She is the sexual energy alchemist. And I don't know if you know what alchemy is, but that is creating something that is not there. It's being able to take something magical and making it real. So I'm going to let this beautiful goddess finish introducing herself to you while I finish sharing the room out, pinging some people in, and getting this conversation going. The mic over to you, beautiful.
Thank you so much, Trey. Hi, everyone. My name is Maisha, and I am the Sensual Energy Alchemist. And I am a coach for women who are ready and willing to step into their sensual feminine power so they can create lives of orgasmic pleasure, play, and ease. And on the B side of that album, I am for the liberation of the bodies of Black and Brown women from the cultural, societal, and religious constraints that have kept us from enjoying our orgasms to their maximum extent. So that is who I am, and that is what I do, and I'm excited for this conversation.
Oh, let me finish sharing the room out. Of course. I went, and then I got to switch my mic, and then I can't even type. I'm just having a fun time. Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys. So I'm laughing. I'm over here talking on the stream, but I'm like, I can't get to my mic because I'm still sharing out the room. And it won't save it if you click away to go back. And I really love that feature in other apps. So then I could hurry and come back in. So we are going to get ready to start this conversation going, because this is what I'm just going to have real talk. I'm all about real talk. I'm all about full disclosure, and I am an open book. So let me tell you, for my whole life, okay, I first had my first boyfriend, really my first love, got with him when I was 15, stood with him, had 3 kids, married him, and then after 7 years divorced him. And he was a narcissist, y'all. So I don't know if you know about some narcissists, but they're all about, guess who? I heard it on some movie one time where they said, oh, he doesn't need me, all he needs is a mirror. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think that describes sperm donor, because I call him sperm donor. He donated the sperm to me to have my amazing, beautiful children, and then go into my next relationship, which was my second marriage, where this man, he is amazing in all the ways, shapes, and forms. He adopted my kids. He was like the dad that showed up hard, and he was unable to have children, right? So I thought, oh, this is it. This was our life. Oh, I saw the forever fairy tale, right? But as time went on, I realized that I was not experiencing the things that other women experienced. I would sit around with my sisters and have the girl talk, and they'd be talking about great orgasms, or how he went, I'm just going to say it, how, they got gone down on, and how, oh my gosh. And I was like, so I'm like, I don't even know. And let me tell you, I've had orgasms from my second husband and from other people, never from my first husband. There was a couple of men in between, right? That did something. And I was like shocked. I was like, oh my God, right? Freaked me out. I was like, oh, I can imagine being able to do this like by myself, for myself, because I didn't have the tools, didn't understand, and felt so shamed by even, I grew up Catholic, y'all. Don't do nothing. You're guilt tripped about everything. So I was like, oh, don't touch myself, don't do anything, right? So going in, and as I matured, I was like, I want to feel alive and in all areas of life. And I don't want to feel suppressed or restricted, right, in any area of life. And this is what I realized I felt emotionally and mentally because of all of the judgments and all of the right history from my experience. And the reason I think I stood with my husband, my second husband, so long, 36 years, was because we had a lot of sex. But I thought because we had a lot of sex that we were having good sex. But I realized that it wasn't sensual. It wasn't like all of these things that I discovered in my maturity that I've never experienced. And when I started asking for it, it didn't happen, and it didn't happen. And this is when I finally said, you know what? This is the most sacred part of me. And I'm really being vulnerable, asking you these things that make me feel so ashamed and uncomfortable, and you ain't down with it. So I'm like, okay, that's it. That was really the straw that ended the 36-year marriage, because I could have maintained all the rest of the areas probably because it was great, right?
Mm.
So, oh my gosh, I'm in my 50s before I learn how to just satisfy myself. So, girlfriend, please, please get this conversation going, because I'm open and ready for all the tips and tricks that are available for me to really own my beauty, my truth, my power. And I'm a root and sacral chakra healer, so I understand this in level that people, oh
Yeah.
girl, so bring it on, bring it on. I'm ready.
Oh no, I'm so thrilled that you spoke about the sacral chakra and how important it is, especially for us when it comes to our sexuality and our creativity, right? And our ability to allow our energy to flow through us. And you're not the only one, and you're not alone. I mean, in my group last night, I went over the many different orgasms that women can have, right? That are available to our bodies. There are over 12 of them, and some of them, a lot of women don't
Oh my
know what
God.
they are, have never experienced them. We went over some anatomy. A lot of women don't know where these areas are in their bodies. I certainly didn't know where all of the areas were in my body. And if we don't know about our own bodies, how can we possibly even know what to tell our partners, right? To say, hey, this is where you need to touch me. This is what helps me to feel good. We don't even know what it is. So we're relying on them. And a lot of times they're relying on porn. And we're all just lost in fuckery of just
Yeah,
not
because we know
understanding.
that ain't real. That
Yeah.
ain't real. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to mic. Okay, because we all know that ain't real. Porn ain't real. It's like Harlequin romance novels. It just messes up your psyche for some unrealistic experience that's more than likely, not really going to happen.
Now, I want to say that, and it's so funny you mentioned Harlequin. And just whenever I forget about those books, and then I'm reminded of the fact that I used to sneak and read them
I love
in
them.
bookstores, and they would have them in the card stores. And after a while, I knew when to skip to the parts where it was like all salacious and sexy, where he would, pop the blouse open and all. And now, I didn't care about the story. I just wanted to get to the part,
Yes.
That was like 14 years old when I discovered those books. Says a lot. Says a lot. I might have learned quite a bit from those books.
Yes. And oh my gosh. Okay. So I keep reminding myself to unmic. Oh my gosh. I have to keep reminding myself to unmic in this clubhouse room, because I'm loving this conversation. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about how much I love it. I did the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh. I was so intrigued with the amazingness. And then, and because I never saw it exampled, right? I never saw parents even really hug or kiss or even be intimate on a gentle level, much less, discover any intimate things. And when you're saying 12 different ways, I'm like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, please help me now, because I think I know like 3. So I love it. And I love to learn. Oh my gosh. So I am excited. So, okay, I can't wait for your other rooms. Tell me, when do you have this before I even forget? So I'm getting, oh, look at, we got Connie join the room. I have to, do you have them consistently in Clubhouse, or was it a pop-up or what?
So no, I do on Clubhouse. I do my rooms Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and I always say they're going to go for about an hour, and then they end up going for two. And the rooms all they do focus around sex and sexuality and relationships and communication and healing and metaphysics and spirituality because it's really all tied together. It's so funny you mentioned the sacral chakra, and I know you know this. I'm saying this for the benefit of the audience because it's been big lately. Women are finding out about the sacral chakra and Oshun and there's sensual energy. And I'm like, yes, but if you don't heal your root chakra and work on your fears around sex and money and survival, you're just going to be an open sexual sensual sponge drawing in all of the wrong people that you
Yes.
don't want to have in your life. So you need to work on all of it. You can't just pop open the sacral chakra and not work on your communication or your heart or your intuition or your connection to yourself or your power or your fear. You have to work on all of it together. So I'm glad it's a thing. And now it's like, okay, there's more.
And understanding these words now, because I actually had another person who's helping me get my message together now that I've shifted, drilling, getting a target audience and all this stuff, right, that I'm learning about. And she is telling me these things, right? She's like, well, you're saying chakra like everybody knows what it is just because you know what it is. And I was like, oh, you're right. I'm talking like the doctor and like everyone. I'm in the room of doctors, but the reality is this is really, like you said at the beginning of the stream, or the of this room, that we are just awakening to these words, to these awarenesses. These are, to a lot of people, this is new. And to those of us who have been working this program for a while, of course it's not, but I have to remind myself to go there and realizing that these are levels. So you can't jump from your root and just go all the way up to here and like skip all of these in between that need to get healed, right? So it's like realizing that one affects the other, because we're all intertwined. And that's why I love that beautiful spin of that thing, as things come up, because that's how everything's connected, right? And when you heal that root is your foundation of your belief system, of your worthiness, of so many things. And people, I know it might sound woo woo, people might think, oh, it's real talk, it's real, it's an energy thing, it's starting to be proven. So please, sister friend, you pick up this mic and you tell it, let's get, how do you help people with that area like me to address my intimate self?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And it's everyone comes at a different point in a different level, right? And so the first thing I want to do is kind of, I don't want to use the word assess, it sounds so clinical, but I need to see like at how in your body are you, right? Because if you're not even really in your body, you're able to feel sensations, or you're numb, we've got to start with just some basics of just beginning to understand what sensations are, how do sensations work, right? And from there, now that you're starting to feel more, well, let's start to explore different aspects of your body. We're not even focused on orgasm. I'm not interested in women having orgasms until they can really feel into their body and into their intuition and are feeling into their power, right? Because otherwise the orgasm just becomes this cover, or it becomes a goal that women are like striving for, like squirting. I did a thing about squirting, about how to squirt, and it really wasn't about how to squirt. It was really like, take a deep breath and ask yourself, why the hell do you even need to squirt? Right? Because this is now the pressure. Like, our bodies are, people are always pressuring our bodies to do things. It's got to
Or,
perform. It's got to
and this is
do.
another bad thing about porn, I'm just saying, is that it gives this weird like that's the normal, and it's not the normal. It's really not. We're all so uniquely different. We are nothing like that conversation or visualization. Yes.
We're not at all. And there are women who definitely have not orgasmed. There are women who have not ever looked between their legs. They have no idea what their clitoris looks like or their inner or outer labia. There are women who, when they have sex, still have it with lights off, under the covers. You don't see anything. They don't say anything. They're completely silent, like they're just a
Yeah.
hole that is there, and they're not engaged in the activity at all. We need to work on all of these pieces first, right? Just to have women feel comfortable and to know that, you know, men don't give you orgasms. It's not their responsibility to do that, which is a hard one for some women to get. And that sex is not for men, right? That's not what it is. And some of this is very recent, right? I mean, up through the 70s and 80s, the idea was definitely that, you just kind of lay there and this is a thing for him and, it's whatever, and then you're done. So, with giving us lots of grace, it's not like we're 50 years into understanding how orgasmic we are. I mean, the clitoris wasn't even a thing, 25, 30 years ago. No one was thinking about the little clitoris, right? So we're really learning and understanding this. I want to say a little more than 25, 30 years ago, but we're really learning and understanding this. I think it was in was it the 1990s or was it the 80s that it was, I can't remember off the top of my head, that it was discovered. So
Yeah, I
we're
think
still
late 80s.
yeah, we're
I'm
still
thinking
new to
late
this.
80s. Yeah.
And we're growing and we're learning, but the beautiful thing is that with the internet, the information is everywhere. And so it's, when I work with women, it is really to, if I had a goal, it's whomever I'm working with, to help them unravel and peel off the layers and stories that is preventing that particular woman from experiencing sex in the way she needs to experience it, and experiencing her life in a way that best aligns with her soul's desires, because I believe life should feel orgasmic in and out of the bedroom. So the sex is kind of like the doorway to, now how do you want to create your life, right? But you can't do that if you're not even in touch with your body on that visceral physical level.
Oh my gosh. So this is reminded me of a story. So when I had first left my husband, and I was so frustrated in so many ways, and sexually was one of them too, because of course I didn't know how to help myself. So here I am away from him for months or whatever at a time, and so one of my sound healing partners, that they it's a couple in Albuquerque, and they have the most amazing sound healing and adventure, because they have like over 30 different sound things that they integrate. So they're telling me, girl, you just need to go manifest. And that's what they call having an orgasm, because they're like, dude, don't you know when you're able to do that, it frees up all of this stuff. And this is where I really gained more information around the root and sacral area, and how much it holds that root chakra of I even want to say forgiveness of self, like everything, the root of love, of everything was there. And so as you're saying this, I just keep hearing, go manifest, go manifest, go manifest, girl. Right. So, and at first it was like our little inside joke when we were out in public. They'd be like, oh, when I would get a little, upset or whatever, they'd be, you just need to go manifest. But really, I realize now it helped me to really gain myself in ways that are unexplainable.
Yes. Yes. It really is. And you know what, it's so I do teach, what I teach is basically sex magic. uh, I don't always call it that, because when women hear that, in the manifestation part, then they want to just go and kind of flick their clit and again make their body do something to get something. And I used to think of it that way too. It was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go lay down, I'm gonna, and boom, things are gonna happen. And it's true, it does. But there's so much more to it than that. And yes, when you do begin to really heal and work through this, and I'm seeing your scroll on the bottom about healing womb trauma, and we don't realize how much we hold in that space, how much energy, like you just said, the root chakra and the vaginal canal, how much of that holds the tension. So there are women who, one of the reasons that they're not feeling orgasms is because their vaginal canals are numb. They're just not awake. They're not alive. Their G spot isn't awake. It isn't alive. And in order for those to wake up, it's important for some women especially to be able to relax and feel safe in their bodies, which a lot of women just don't, due to society, due to trauma passed down or their own experiences. And that's really the first step, is really, okay, can I feel safe enough in my body to take in a deep breath and relax, so that when I have sex, I'm not out of my body and thinking about all of these other things, but I'm present with the experience and I can have
Safe.
maximum pleasure.
Oh my gosh. I love that you're saying safe. Oh, Miss Lovemar is down there in the audience. I just love Miss Lovemar. I invited her to speak if you could come up. But I love that she always supports me. But I am just going in my head of thinking of how I didn't really feel safe. Even if I was by myself in my own room, I almost felt like the eyes watch me, or I had all of these subconscious things in the earlier times, and I really realized that, okay, so for me as a healer, an energy healer, a medicine woman, I work like with you with all the aspects. I believe that our mental body, our emotional body, is affecting the physical body, which then sometimes blocks the spiritual body. And people don't understand, God never wanted you to be mad, sad, upset,
Mm-hmm.
threatened, anything but love and illuminated. That's what my God wants. My God only wanted for me to experience amazingness and not to feel bad about it, right? That's why he created all of these beautiful things. And I see people using sex like drugs or like an escape, right? And when you're not integrating, to me, that emotional body with the physical experience and that spiritual body, and I create sacred space around everything I do, because I realize that when I work with all four of my bodies together, instead of just part of this area, or just the physical, like you're saying, for the instant relief, but then you're still mentally stressed out, or then you're still sad or whatever, and people use it like an addiction when it could be used for healing. For healing, I want you to understand, for healing, when you created in a way to do just that, instead of just using it like a drug
Yeah.
or a temporary fix.
No, yeah, and I did that. I did that when I left my marriage. I spent a couple of years in this beautiful learning hoe phase where I was just out in the world and let the flags fly. And I was also using it as my form of medication, because I had become so numb through the experience that I had in that particular marriage, that sex was the way that I could feel. And so I was just looking to feel something. And then it got to the point, was like, hold on, but wait, what I'm feeling isn't really fully real. It's like eating cotton candy. Yeah, you think it's food, but it's not. And it's like, okay, I think I want a sustainable meal. And I did go through learning about sacred sexuality in order to heal myself, and learning about tantra and Taoism and Tibetan Buddhist tantra, in order to facilitate greater healing for myself, BDSM and kink, and really diving into the different ways that the body responds to stimulation and to sexual tension, but also using it as a way to heal my ability to say yes and my ability to say no, right? My
Exactly.
communication skills. Non-monogamy helps me with that. I'm also non-monogamous. I sit in a strange place, y'all. I love it. It's just amazing.
Oh my gosh, Miss Lovemore, I know you're here supporting, and please flash your mic if you want to join in the conversation. I just love having Miss Lovemore anywhere I am because she just understands how important it is to love yourself. And truly, when you're loving yourself, you're honoring yourself and you're accepting yourself and your uniqueness. And some of us have a bigger, greater sex drive than other people. And some people have less active libido, and it doesn't make it right or wrong. It just makes us unique and beautiful. And so understanding that we're all so, I love how you said we're all layers. We're all layered with experiences, moments of impact, perceptions, programming from our lives and our things, right? Everything that's helped us to become who we are right now. But most of it is somebody else's perception, somebody else's feelings, somebody else's thoughts. So when you get to wipe away those layers of training, of programming, or whatever, and discover your unique self, then you could give yourself permission to be who you are. And for me, I realized that when I'm hearing you talk is in my marriage, I was taught to believe that if the man wants to have sex with you, then you guys have great love, right? That something about sex had to do with what a wonderful marriage we had. And so I was like, well, we have a lot of sex, so it must be great, right? And what I realized is that I love intimacy. I love feeling connected. I love so many aspects of making love or having sex or having that, and then being an empath and all of these other things, right? That I'm just surging with the things. And that's the sad thing too, being an empath. I didn't realize I was picking up more of his feelings of me than I was of my own self. And learning, when you take the time to really know yourself, then you know what's yours and what's not yours, or what you like and what you don't like. And so it was always extra hard for me as an empath, because I feel other people's feelings and thought they were mine until the act was over, and then I would go back into this feeling of, why did you do that, or why did, you know what I mean, of kind of a little spin out of going, well, what happened? Well, didn't you think you liked it? I don't know. You know what I mean? So much confusion because I wasn't healed then, right? Beautiful goddess.
Absolutely. And that's the thing when we are, sometimes it's important to take a step back from things while you're going through a healing process so that you don't get energies confused or intertwined. There's a period of, I was going through a period of abstinence or celibacy. I always get them confused, where I just kind of backed away for a little bit, just to say, what's really going on here? What is the energy that I'm putting out? I never intentionally, since I started having sex, intentionally stopped having sex for a period of time. So it was a completely new experience for me. Doing it when there's nobody around, you can't find, the dick in the jar doesn't exist. But to say I'm purposefully not gonna do this, that was a little bit of a journey. But I think it's sometimes important on our journeys to do that, and also to not put the pressure on ourselves to try to heal and get it all right and get it all just correct, because sometimes we do that and we turn healing into the new religion because we're still seeking that same kind of, I need to be a part of something. Oh, look, I'm part of healing now. This is where I'll focus all of my energy. And then we still forget to live, and we still forget that we're human and that we're going to make mistakes. And we forget to be an approval for all, as one of my teachers says, all of our humanity, and knowing that we're going to sometimes get it right, whatever that is. And we're going to sometimes just screw it all up. And that's just part of the process that we're going through. So yes, we may be on this journey and we still may pick the wrong person. And instead of beating ourselves up about it, go, gosh, what that was quite the classroom I signed up for. I didn't realize that was in the course catalog. I don't think I want to take that lesson again. Let me see what I learned from it, and make sure I avoid that particular class. And if we just looked at it that way, not beat ourselves up about, oh, I suck. I can't believe I made the wrong decision again. Oh, what's wrong with me? There's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with you. You're just learning. You're going through life. Yeah.
Exactly. And even giving yourself permission to be like, oh, this is just a learning experience. And I love leaning into the perception now that life is a buffet. It's just a big buffet, right? And sometimes you see the weird shaky green stuff and you're like, ugh. And sometimes you're like, you know what? That's so freaky. I think I got to try it, right? Because you don't know. And instead of going, oh, that didn't work out, or tempting to do things and feeling like there was any kind of failure or whatever, it's just like the buffet. It's just helping you navigate what worked, what didn't work, what it was helpful, what was uncomfortable, what was comfortable, or helping you to get that, ooh, that was yucky, that was like the buffet. But don't be in judgment of yourself because you tried something new, but just know, okay, this is helping me get narrow down what is working and what's not working, and instead of doing things that aren't helpful to your mind or to your emotions, and then therefore you keep attracting the things that you don't want. So when you perceive that the things that happen that you didn't like the experience, it's only there to help you to learn, well, what would I like instead? Well, maybe I'll try this instead, or maybe I could try this instead, and then get excited about that and know that, see, there you go. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. So just so you know, I'm a number person. 1, 2, 3, 4 means we're going through the steps, you guys. We are all going through the steps to get us to the next place. And that's all it is. All life is a beautiful journey and adventure of experiences that are helping you to learn, if you let it, what is helping and not helping to get you to that next place where we can thrive. Because once you have more clarity, it's like for me when I got my life standards, so then I was able to confidently go, no, the people in my life are complimenting, they're like-minded, they're supportive, they're encouraging, they are safe, they're of integrity, like, you know what I mean? And how did I get this clarity? By having countless of opposite experiences, countless of opposite experiences of people that weren't trustworthy, who didn't make me feel safe, who weren't very nice to me, who weren't supportive. I love truth. I can handle truth, but there's a difference between truth and and loving truth and just not. So it's like, oh my gosh, clarity is so helpful, and self-awareness, that's all it is learning your body. It's a whole new thing for some of us. It can be the most exciting new adventure if you let it, right, beautiful goddess? Oh, Maisha, thank you.
No, yeah, and it's so funny as you're sitting here talking about this, I'm just, getting this wave of the thoughts that came to me as you were speaking. It's like, oh my gosh, one day I'm not going to be here. Oh, wow. I really am this soul in this body that came to have this experience and that came to have this experience right now and just came to have this conversation. And how much of a game can I make this? And how much there's a book called The Way of Mastery, and it's someone wrote it based on the
Yes.
words of, right, of Yeshua. And one of the in the first book, I think the author says, how much of God can you let in? And when I heard that, I was like, wow. And so for me, that translates like into how much pleasure can I let in? And when you were just talking about that, and again, going back to the classroom analogy and just seeing that we came here for certain experiences. There's this beautiful story called the Little Soul by Neil Donald Walsh, who did Conversations with God, and it's a lengthy little story. But the basis of the story is that the soul wants to come, to Earth and wants to have a good time, right? And it's trying to but it's such a light, and so the soul decides it wants to learn forgiveness. And it chokes me up every time just thinking about it, because there's this other soul that steps forward and says, I will help you learn forgiveness. And the soul is like, yay. But the other soul is like, but in order to do that, I'm going to have to forget who I am. And I'm going to have to do some things to you that are not going to be pleasant. But I want you to know that I'm here playing this game with you so that you can learn the forgiveness. And when I read it the first time, and it still makes me tear up. Oh my gosh, it really helped me even understand my ex-husband. It helped me with forgiveness. It helped me to understand, that it's we think we're here playing this human game, but it's so much greater than that. And if I looked at my life as that and looked at each person that came into my life as this, we had this contract, before we even met here, that's like, so I'm going to meet you, at this juncture. Okay. And it's like, okay, bet. All right. And what about you? Well, I'm going to meet you when you're like 52.
Yep.
It's like, okay, cool, cool. All right. And then we're going to play this little game, and we'll see what happens. Cause, maybe I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what happens with it. And if we just look at it like that, I think we can make life much more orgasmic, and we can make it much more pleasurable, and we can enjoy all of it, even the parts that feel really crappy, even more.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is so good. So I love all those books. I've read them and they are so evolutionary, but some part of me knows and understands that because I'm an intuitive, I'm an energy master. I came into this earth already being able to perceive energy, but I didn't know that not everybody was seeing and experiencing the energy like me because we're as a kid, people don't go around going, oh, look at the tree, and pointing out every single tree, right? Or they don't go around pointing out every single passes by. So why would I bring up all of this energy that I saw? And knowing and being able to experience energy on a different level, I know that there's something that happens prior to this body. There's something, and that's why I call it the suit. This is the suit I chose to wear in this experience because this suit got me the experiences that I needed to evolve. This suit got me the communications in my face to evolve, to learn. I mean, at first there was a lot of trauma. Let me tell you, I was very victim mode, and I'm a Capricorn. I was very, very super serious as a child. I took everything way too hard, and I went through a lot of healing and evolution to overcome the countless experiences that I believe I subscribe to. Just like she said, I believe that we're part of this amazing soul group before we come into this earth. And we're all buddies. And we're like, okay, this time, can you be the mean dad? And I'm going to be the hateful brother. And we're going to all help each other learn about family dynamics. Or can you be the grandpa who molested me so that I can heal from that? And can you be the one, and really to understand in my perception, because it feels better. It feels better to have the perception that I agreed to this, that I wanted to grow and learn. I wanted my soul that is something before this suit, and that will be something after this suit, that it wanted to learn and grow and evolve. And I believe that our soul is infinite. It is infinite. It is never dying. It will always be on some energetic level or not, because I know that I see these not this energies on the earth. I experience countless energies all the time. So when I realized that I have the ability to play the game differently with a different perception, right? Then I went from being the defense to offense, right? And then when you play offense, you get to call the plays, you get to create the plays, which brings us back to manifesting.
Yes.
Right? I love full circle.
I love that you said that, especially going from defense to offense. And you know, I mean, when I transition, I definitely have some questions, like, so why was this set up this way? It's a little bit like Hunger Games, like why why did it have to be set up this way? Is there a different way that we could do some things, in that realm that could just make it just a little bit easier, for the folks who are there. But I love the idea of the offense because yes, now instead of um always trying to prepare for the worst, right? You're creating the best, knowing that sometimes other things just come into place. Sometimes you get sacked, and that's just what happens. But you're still going to call the plays, and you're still going to call the shots. And I love that. My teacher, she says that our souls, and I tended to agree with this as well. Our souls come here with lessons to learn. They may not necessarily like choose the experience, right? So it's like, I want to learn these things,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the process of our living and learning and being human and the people that we are around, there are experiences that we have that end up giving us the lesson. But it's not that we necessarily, we can't came here and said, oh yeah, I want to get my ass beat. But maybe we wanted to learn forgiveness, and that happened to be the way, right? Or we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to learn something about faith, and so there was a serious illness that took place, right? We all
Mm-hmm.
have something, right? And we're all here to learn a variety of things. And we're not even all here to learn one thing. We're here to learn several things. I'm
Lot.
a Virgo. And so, like Earth's, our Earth signs, we're special people. No,
Yes.
but so perfectionism was a thing for me, right? And always, and internalizing everything. I internalized everything as my fault, and I was wrong, and it would just make me sink. And so one of the things I realized that I was here to learn was how to release the judgments, thoughts, and opinions of others. And honestly, they weren't thinking about me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't even thinking about what was going on with me. And
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the lessons that I signed up for. And I had experiences that lent itself, to me being in bullied and things where it's like, oh, they really are paying attention to me, but they're really not. And just learning the differences and the nuances in that. So I look back now, there's not a thing I would change,
Mm-mm.
even the worst of it,
Mm-mm.
because I love who I am. I
Mm-hmm.
love who I'm growing into. I love how my life is evolving. And to change one thing changes everything. And I would not want to. And there, if you'd have asked me this 5 years ago, I would cry wishing I had a time machine to go back and change things, like begging, like a movie, for that to really happen. And now I've gotten to the point where no, I don't need that. I love life as it is right now. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I'm kind of enjoying the unknown of it all.
Exactly. Oh, I love this conversation. And I'm just thinking that I remember when I really started getting into the Christian thing for a while. I studied with my sister, and her and I had these really deep conversations about that. She was like, because I was doing my best to heal my hurt and pain from my parents, because in my 30s I found out, through lots of these conversations, that my mom finally admitted that she never wanted kids. And I was like, oh my God, that's so revolutionary in my thinking, because for all these years I thought I did something to make her not like me, when the reality is that she just never wanted kids. And how she got four of them, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Either way. And then, so working through the pain and the hurt around that, and then my sister really telling me, but if mom and dad were any different, you would not be the amazing woman that you are, who has so many skills and talents, and all of this, because of how they parented you. And to really even lean into the power of that, instead of holding on to my perception of what I didn't get or didn't have, or how I received the communication, right? And so really everything is a perception, and it's just how we're currently perceiving things at the time, because we could have the same experience happen, and if we're coming from a place of healing, where we've gained the wisdom and released the pain, then we have that same experience, and it's a whole different response instead of a reaction. And it's because we have evolved that part of our soul, I believe. So this is why we keep having the same situations in different places and different people, because that goes back to the soul contract. I believe that our soul wanted to evolve and learn. And until we evolve and learn and get the clue, then we don't get to go to the next level, at where you're not going to have so many of those experiences until you figure out where you need to heal. Is it mentally? Is it emotionally? Do you need to evolve? Do you need to grow? Do you need to forgive? Whatever it is that needs to happen. And then I promise you, you get the next level, huh? You get the next level of the game, Maisha. She knows. She be leveling it up.
Definitely trying, definitely trying. It's so funny when you said that, because I also I raised 5 children. I birthed 4. And my children know that initially my plan was not to have any children at all. I had no children, no marriage. But I don't how I was gifted them is how I saw it. How I was gifted them amazes me. I know that I was gifted them for a reason.
Mhm.
And as soon as my daughter was born, you know, my whole entire life changed, and they became my world, which is what I also tell them. They were the gifts I never knew that I needed. They each represent one of the elements, right? And so
Oh,
yeah, and so there's a lot to me around, okay, I have a earth, I have a air, I have a water, I have a fire. And what does that mean for how they interact with each other, and the balance that they bring, centered around me as this, as spirit, as that which brought them here. And so I don't take that lightly, and I'm just like, okay, you gifted me these children. I don't know why, but here they are. And it's a hefty responsibility for sure, but they also were part of my healing as well,
yes.
right?
Yes. And I actually feel like my mom had the opportunity to evolve her soul and to heal. But again, you guys, this is our free will. I think this is where our free will goes. We get to say, you know what? I was just kidding. I'll maybe come back another lifetime and deal with it. And in this lifetime, I'm just going to keep doing me, which she chose to do. And and the great thing also about, I guess, being in the church at the time is they really teach you, to honor your mother and father. So when I got that information, I was supported in honoring her wish to not be my mother. And then I did not have to get the whiplash from her pain and agony of having to parent me because she chose not to. I was the opposite. I didn't want kids because I was in so much pain from my childhood. And then I got pregnant too. I from somebody who was supposedly not able to have kids. And so when I was pregnant, I was like, this is my chance. She changed my whole life.
Yeah,
I wrote her letters for her whole life of how she is my blessing. She
yeah,
saved me. I would be dead or in jail if it was not for that beautiful gift. And for the rest of I love my children. I too have been pregnant 6 times. I have 3 living kids, but I have the gift. And I say this over. So I have custody of my 3 grandkids, 2 of which are from my son, and then the mom of my son's boys had another baby from someone else, but because no one else wanted to keep them together, and I don't believe in blood like that. I'm like, I believe that we get the gifts we get.
yeah,
And so, I have the gift of learning not only how to refine my parenting in twice in one lifetime, but I had 3 kids. I had the oldest of mine is a daughter and 2 boys. And now I have the exact opposite. So I have the 2 boys and the girl, and she has been healing all of my inner children as she grows, and I help her heal through her trauma and stuff. I am healing so much of myself, and it's such a gift. It's such a gift.
yeah.
So I love that we can celebrate our gifts together, because I want to be different. I want to be healed. And right now, my mom is dying of cancer that has metastasized through her whole body. And
Mm,
I believe it's because of that lack of healing.
yeah.
And I know as healers, we know where it comes from.
Yeah.
And the part of me that continues to honor her because she chose it. And we had one of those great conversations once I got my life standards and I said, Mom, the people in my life, they support me. Is this something you could do? There was no answer. So we all know no answer is a no, you guys. If you don't know, I'm telling you, if they don't answer, it's a no. A yes is a yes, and anything else is a no, or maybe. So yeah, and the second question, she said no. She flat out said no. So I said, can we agree that maybe you just were here to bring me into the world, and I'm going to give you your freedom to not have to parent me? And she said yes. And we both we've seen each other many times over the years, but it's like, hi Mom, like just like hi Abby, or hi,
Yeah.
but there's no animosity, there's no pain, there's just acceptance. And
Yeah.
I can give her love freely, and it's beautiful. So oh my gosh, you guys, you are in the Laugh and Learn Lunch with Trey and Maisha. We have been having a deep conversation around root healing, around intimacy, around orgasms. Oh my gosh, around growth, around so much stuff. We have hit so many amazing topics in this last 40 minutes. So, sister friend, our time is getting ready to wrap. And I always like to keep this a hot hour. So, we have a few more minutes where I just really would love for you to share with these amazing people any opportunities you got coming up. Where can they connect with you? Do you have some workshops? What do you got going on that, because I know I want to learn more. And you guys, she's already shared about her rooms, but I'm going to ask her to share again because I know I want to learn more, and I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be in there. I give myself permission to love myself enough to continue to be excited to discover myself.
Yes, that's what I love to hear. So yes, when it comes to Clubhouse, I am on Clubhouse. I have a room in my club Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time, where we talk about sex and health and healing and relationships and communication and all kinds of things. I'm also in another room that I co-moderate with some others Monday through Thursday. That is the Fit, Healthy, and Blessed Club. So you can find me there 8 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. And Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I am a co-moderator for another club called Black Coffee, Honey, and Grits, which is a new club that has just
Nice.
begun. Yes, it was
I
fun.
love that title.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's black coffee is it represents black and brown women. The honey is our lips and what comes out of our mouths when we are in alignment. And grits because we've got some grit to us. We got a little sass in the ass. So
Hmm.
it's black coffee, honey, and grits. And so that's Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Off Clubhouse, Instagram is the spot where I'm at. There's a fake page
Yes.
running around as me. I hope people ignore it. I do not say Grand Rising, so just for the folks who are listening, it is not me. If it is, if you're somebody pops in your DMs asking you, hey, I saw your name and it has such a great energy. Would you like a reading? That is not me, and no respectable reader would ever come into someone's DMs doing that. So just wanted to put that
Mm-mm.
out there. But I am on
Yes.
Instagram under my name, Maisha Khalfani, and it's my business, Sensual Energy Alchemy LLC. You can find me there. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on my website, sensualenergyalchemy.com. I do have a private online community for women. It is currently $25 a month. I say currently because it's gonna shift, if not in September, by the beginning of the year. Within that online community, I have the Temple Gathering for Women, which is the group where the women, it's like Facebook. It's like Facebook. It's kind of like that format, but it's private. I also have a whole library of teachings that I've done, videos that I've done, courses that I've done. Everything is uploaded into my private community. There's a 7-day free trial, so people are more than welcome to come in. And today I just posted a reel. I'm so excited. I have some product on my store, on my website, some pillows with some sayings, some bags, some mugs. And I just really finished my first series. I had 2 other ebooks up there and they were good, but this one is like this is this I
This
love
is
this
the juice,
ebook.
huh?
It is. This is the juice. It's called Reveal, and it has the tips and the tools that I've personally used to tap into my own sensual feminine power and to begin creating this life that I have, and what has helped me overcome traumas and things that I've dealt with. So that is on my site as well. I'm so excited about it. It's probably going to end up being a bigger book one day, but right now it's just 30 pages. So we'll see what happens. But you can find me, like I said, on Instagram, and come on into the private online membership group. It's hot in there. It's great. I love it. And I do have something else dropping, but I'm gonna hold on to that. Let it gestate a little bit more in the womb before I talk about it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So you guys go to her website. If you are on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you guys are seeing it in the feed. There you go. It is that beautiful word alchemy in there. You guys, I love that. Have you guys read that book, The Alchemist? Oh my gosh, you have to, because it helps you to understand how this is how synchronicity works. And you go out thinking you're going to go get something, do something, and then something shifts a little, and then you're just keep following the road, keep following the realignment. Give yourself permission to sway out of your tunnel vision to go into the alchemist. Because man, Maisha is a powerhouse, you guys. I can't wait to get her book. I was going to ask you because I am fired up to get the juice book. I am ready to learn, and I can't wait to get in your rooms, because there is some, I don't know, my clubhouse is freaking out. So hopefully you guys could hear me. But you guys, this has been an amazing conversation. If you want to listen to the replays, I have my replays on always, because I can't afford to lose these important messages. So if you want to look at us live and in living color, you could go to my YouTube, Trey Urban. You can go, I'm Trey Urban on all social media platforms. I'm growing my LinkedIn. So if you guys want to connect on LinkedIn, I would love to connect with you over there, because we are I have only a few more people, and I'll be able to live stream there in addition to the other places that we're streaming all over. And I want to reach the most people that I can, because to me it's so important to heal. And every person that heals, it evolves their energy, which then affects the people around them. And then we keep helping each other to want to evolve and grow. The more anybody evolves and grows, it's such an amazing reciprocation of energy. And this is how we're going to change the world, right, Miss Maisha? I can't thank you enough for your time, for your energy. We're getting ready to close this room. Any last words, beautiful goddess?
No, thank you so much for having me here, and on the on Clubhouse, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on all of the places. I'm so excited. Just thank you. I appreciate the time.
Woo! All right, you guys, I'm getting ready to close down this room. I can't thank you enough, Nisi. I can't thank you. Oh, is up Nicole, oh, thanks for joining us. And we had Chris in here. We had Lovemore. We had a few other people rolling on the stage. I am so grateful for everybody's time and place, because I know that Mom Link, which I'm a part of, is running their big collab room, which we're going to hop into right after this, you guys. So please continue to come back every Wednesday. We will be here next Wednesday with another amazing guest speaker as we're streaming around the world. But please, you guys, connect with Miss Maisha. Get that energy in alignment so that you can thrive and feel amazing. And I really am supportive of all of her stuff, and I'm going to follow her. I'm going to get her book. Go to her page, you guys. Discover her group, because these groups are so important. If you don't have the support of like-minded people, it is hard to maintain forward motion. Is something new. So you guys, do it for yourself. You deserve it. You're worthy to receive it. You need the support. I want the support. So I'm sending you that loving support as we count down this clubhouse room and all this live stream. All right, you guys, I'm sending that 3, lots of loving support. 2, love and light on your journeys. And 1, blessings on the rest of your day.